Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Road to Completion, the series that dives deep into the process of achieving that time-consuming 100% across different games. This is episode 19 of MegaMan Battle Network 4 Red Sun version. And last time we had quite a busy episode, so let's get that recap out of the way, shall we? Last episode covered my journey across the Density tournament for the second time. Now on hard mode, also known as Game 2. These chapters are always randomized, so I was hoping I could get at least 2 new scenarios to play through. So, after clearing those preliminary rounds, which are the exact same as in normal mode, it was time to finally see those brackets. Luckily, the game gave me 3 new scenarios that we didn't see in normal mode. Thus, I had to decode Sparkman's traps, go on a ghost hunting quest on Ponta's scenario, and last but not least, Fireman became my last opponent, rewarding me with Fire Soul after a fight with both him and his new gang. So now we move on to the second traditional arc of BN4, only now with slightly harder enemies. Ready? Here we go. Today's chapter starts with Mail asking Lan to help her get a pair of tickets to enter Castillo, a new theme park that will get its inauguration very soon. Roll seems to be at Town Area 3, but first, now that our friend's passcode is in our possession, we can link her profile with Lan's, acting as a quick warp point in case we need it later down the line. Okay, now let's get to Town Area 3. I did go out of my way to pick up GMTs along the way, and that resulted in a decent amount of Zenny coming to my savings. They will be very useful later on. However, the main reason I didn't go straight to our next objective is to get something out of the way right now. Because in last episode I fought Fireman at the tournament, now he's waiting for us as a set encounter, like every other Navi so far. He's hiding at the top floor of Town Area 2, right here, so let's see. Okay, even in this stronger form, Fireman isn't as threatening as most other bosses, thanks to his simple patterns. Still, he hits like a truck, and I was very close to messing up this fight. My first chip draw wasn't that great, so I decided to use Invis and then try and land a counter hit with White Shot. Sadly, he went back to the back row, and thus the counter wasn't as easy to pull off. On the second turn though, I got lucky enough to get all 3 components for Pile Driver and managed to land its 800 damage on Fireman. It wasn't enough though, as I quickly found myself in a difficult situation. We are still quite under level to fight beta bosses, so getting hit a few times in a row can take me to red numbers in a blink. I used both Invis and Recovery 300 to get myself back on track, and by landing a few charge shots, as well as a well-timed variable sword Sonic Boom, Fireman beta is no more. The reward is a new mega chip for our library. Now back to the main quest. As soon as you enter Town Area 3, you'll get a few cutscenes before triggering a 3-round fight with different viruses. As always, you'll see me skipping through dialogue that we've seen before, and to be honest, even on their upgraded versions, all 3 virus fights are nothing to worry about. In fact, they are good ways to practice before heading into the upcoming chapter, as most of these enemies will be featured on the next dungeon. After that's done, Lan's mother gets attacked by someone. Even if she's safe, an ominous note can be found on our protagonist's PC that commands him to bring the dark chip found after Shademan's defeat to Park Area 2. So that will be our next target, so travel to Electown, jack into Jammon's PC, and let's head to the end of Town Area 3. As soon as you approach the door, a cutscene will take place, and then you'll find yourself fighting a normal Navi that's trying to stop us from getting inside Park Area before its inauguration. All normal Navis fight just like Ponta did on past episodes, so make sure to destroy any obstacles that they bring into their side of the arena, and then fight back the best way you can. A few turns later, I landed both of my Sonic Booms correctly, ending the fight with most of my HP still intact. Now input the code and park area is finally available. Here is where we can find an upgrade to a certain disc of death that we've been using for a while now. The upgraded Molokos are also menacing, but try using Gundle Soul chips on them. It's quite useful if you're quick on your feet. Before heading to Park Area 2, I decided to take a detour and take the southern exit that leads to the lower part of Town Area 3. Here we can find the jet parts for the Sea Slider for 3000 Zenny. Make sure to pick this up now, they'll save you a lot of backtracking later on. Now, back at Park Area 1, I took the lower path and stopped at this dead dealer to buy a few unlocker sub-chips, before heading on to this BMD that contains an HP memory. Now, we are in Park Area 2, so if you have already deleted Burning Man beta, be very careful when going to this place. Luckily, the Hill Navi we need to find is just ahead, so talk to him to start the battle. Hill Navis are not very different from normal ones, and I had a great fight thanks to getting full synchro from the first attack and then landing a Disc of Death. Alright, now that the Dark Chick problem is solved, it's time to head to Castillo and meet up with Mail. Hey, don't you love how Legacy Collection performs on my low-end PC? Anyway, jack into the ticket machine and find a BMD with Vulcan 3, and then you can talk to Mail right next to the entrance. Next task will require MegaMan to go to Park Area 3 and discover why the machines have stopped working. So now you can jack into the snack stand, take the passcode from this Mr. Prog, and let's get to find out what's happening. On the way there I managed to find a battle with two wingers, and I was finally successful enough to get a high rank, and the reward is Electshock L, a new entry on the standard library. Take the usual path through the teleporters, and when you get to this one, right next to the end of Park Area 2, turn left on the first branch. At the end of it, there's a purple mystery data that holds 5 backtracks inside. Now at Park Area 3, take the first path to grab this Charge +1, and then take the fourth one. As always, make sure to check the GMDs because they can give you some nice drops like Barrier 100 here. Finally, I had a fight with a Karma enemy, and getting a level 9 rank gave me Airhawk 2. Oh boy, this thing's gonna be useful, let me tell ya. Jokes aside, you're now free to go straight to the end of Park Area 3, where a virus battle will be waiting for you. It's nothing you should worry about, as always, so just be careful with how the rocks interact with enemies like this. Now, talk to Mail and she'll ask you to get some ice cream for her. This stand also has a secret jacking point. Inside there's a Rare Gap 1 program. So now jack out, get the Ice Ice baby, and a set of cutscenes will happen. Now Vampire Manor is open, so enjoy those sweet Boktai references before heading out through the door. Be prepared though, because it's time to head into the second traditional dungeon of BM4, the ToyRobo Comp. So, welcome back to one of the most infamous sections of the entire game. Hopefully, now that I'm narrating over my videos, I can guide you all through these 4 areas in a clear way. Ready? Let's go then. We are given different stories with blanks that you'll need to fill by picking up different pieces of data, and then inserting them into the script once more. This task can get very confusing thanks to Battle Network 4's terrible English translation, so just let me give you the answers, okay? First off, go through the main path, pick up this Rare Gap 1, and then take Mirror with you. Yeah, the Halberd Princess uses his weapon to mirror. If it doesn't make sense to you, don't you worry, I feel the same way. Anyway, please dig back into the story, and the raft will take you to the next area. Enemies in this place will be mostly the same as they were back at Park Area, with Molokos and some lesser enemies from earlier internet areas. For the next piece of data, you'll need to take the left path and then choose Big Tree. Make sure to grab this BMD on the way back, as it contains some extra money we can put to use later on. As you can tell, most of these sections are very easy to traverse through. The story pieces will always be on the main path, and then a BMD will replace the secondary path. So, just take back the data piece back to the raft, and let's make some progress. Now for the third one, grab the BMD that has counter 3 as its price, a new entry on the standard chip library for us, and then pick Mighty Blow and bring it back. Do you see a pattern here? Be prepared though, because as soon as you touch the button at the end of the raft, a virus battle will start. And make sure to save if you need to. You'll fight against, say, Silly EX, Hello the EX, and now that we are with EXs, Gandalf's EX took care of them just fine. That's the end for the first section of the dungeon, so let's get to the second one. This is the story about the wizard dog, and the first data piece is related to his rival. Pick up some extra Seni from this BMD and then choose Wizard Monkey. Yeah, the dog's rival is a monkey and not the wizard cat. You can thank Japanese folklore for that decision. Now, before putting the piece back to the story, I must mention that some of the fights found in the next few dungeon areas can sometimes have grass panels on them. Thus, fire-type chips are very useful if you have them around, as well as Fire Soul. Oh yeah, Fire Soul. I didn't get to use it in this episode, because they didn't have a decent folder to make the most out of it, so let's take a moment to talk about it, shall we? Fire Soul happens when MegaMan and Fireman souls are combined via Soul Unison. Of course, this fusion will change the Blue Bomber's elemental type to fire, making him vulnerable to Aqua-type battle chips. On the other hand, while it's active, MegaMan's Charge Shot will become a quick flamethrower that deals 50 damage on impact. It takes very little time to charge it up too. To activate Fire Soul, you'll need to sacrifice a fire-type chip, which means that low damage chips like Hit Shot are perfect candidates. Okay, so what does this transformation actually do? As soon as you start your first turn after performing Soul Unison, grass panels will appear on a cross-shaped pattern in both sides of the field. Considering that enemies on these panels will receive double damage from fire attacks, you can deal big chunks of damage if you play your card right. Or should I say, play your chips right. This also adds to the second perk that comes with Fire Soul. Fire-type battle chips can be charged by holding the A button. When released, the chip will be used as fuel for the firearm, a different flamethrower attack that deals 150 damage. This means that all those hit shots and hit bees can now be converted to deal up to 300 damage if you manage to land the hit over a grass panel. Oh, and grass is not the only panel type that gives a benefit to Fire Soul. While it's active, lava panels will be consumed and they will recover 50 HP upon contact. This makes Fire Soul a very versatile transformation, even if it requires some thought from the player to make it stand out. Before ending this section, let me tell you about a few strategies that you can easily use on PvE. Black Bomb C becomes very easy to use as you can make it explode with your charge shot. So, a very balanced strategy is to steal some panels from the enemy with area grab or panel grab, and then use both Boot Powder and Heat Breath to create panels that will give you extra damage and quick healing on the spot. And that should be it for Fire Soul. Okay, on to the next story bit. As usual, follow the main path, grab a bug frag from this blue mystery data, and then head for the story pieces. At this point, I found myself getting into a battle against a Hello the enemy. Thanks to a level 9 busting rank, he dropped me Binder 2, which is a chip that you could have found back at ToyRobo Comp, but due to bad luck, I didn't add it to my library until now. Take Magic Seal with yourself and back to the entrance. Be prepared though, as from now on, every story bit will have 2 blank spaces, which means 2 keywords that you have to place in order to continue. Before heading to the actual story pieces, grab this Recovery 150 from the usual BMD, and for this one you'll need to pick Good Nose and Scratch, and then enter them in that same order. We are almost done with this one, only the final virus battle stands in our way. 2 Silly EX and a Metar. Here you can see an example of how wrong these fights can go if you happen to get hit by anything. But somehow I pulled through, and that means ToyRobo Comp 2 is done. Only 2 more areas to go. Tin Man's first story beat already requires 2 pieces, so let's find them. This area will probably add some metal panels to various battles, as well as moving gears. If your strategy is based on using holes, watch out as these panels won't break at all. You'll need to choose War as the first missing piece and Emotion as the second one. More enemy types will appear from now on, with MagTechs showing up in their upgraded versions. As you can see, Wind Soul works pretty well on them, as having 2 MagTechs on the same row makes them an easy target for AoE damage. Oh, and would you look at that? Mag Ball 2 is now in our possession. These data bits can be quite confusing, 2 more pieces to find, and 1 HP memory that's waiting for us to pick up. But luckily Bird and Dance are right next to each other, so grab those 2 and head back. Oh well, that's unexpected, isn't it? My first turn wasn't too bright, so using Area Steal was the best decision to trap all 3 enemies on the back rows. Then, on the second turn, Lance and Gandul Soul work wonders. Even though I missed with the light gun thanks to my mashing, but it's fine anyway. Thankfully, this last wall only requires 1 story piece to open. The PMD of this section has an attack +1 navicast program, and the answer to the puzzle is Toy Part. Yeah, this one makes no sense at all. On to the virus battle, and this time there's nothing too threatening. Try to take out the Helodis first and then go for the hot dog. Ladies and gentlemen, we are almost done. The last ToyRobo is sitting inside the Vampire Manor, so make your way through the darkened halls and jack into the plastic bloodsucker. Here's where the Boktai cameo comes into the spotlight, as the next story is based on the events of these games. You'll need to bring Gun Soul and Crimson Scarf with you on the first one, and on your way back you might notice that now fire-type enemies will start showing up, especially Volgears, and his shots will always track your position, so make sure to move around to confuse them. So, the upcoming section has 4 story pieces, with 2 of them being correct, but you'll need to bring them one by one because there are 2 doors. So yeah, grab the BMD with the grab 2 and take Otenko with you. Place it into the story script, then go back, grab Sunlight and repeat. Right here the raft will turn around and ask for a specific answer to continue. You'll need to say apple and then straight into the next door, also the last one. Pick this Vulcan 3 and then take both Skylight and Tayo along with you. Okay, now place them back, and finally it's time to face the boss of the dungeon. Nah, just kidding, more viruses are up ahead. These are no match for Windsoul's power, so take this. I suck at this game. Okay, jokes aside, time to actually fight the boss, Shademan. Except you don't. This is another scripted battle. You'll need to damage him a few times, and on around turn 3, dark chips will appear on your custom screen. So, give him a taste of that blade and send him back to Merkland. A few cutscenes after, the preliminary round for the Eagle tournament will start, and I just skipped it. I was too fast there, okay, but that's something we'll take care on the next episode. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are done for now. It's been a wild month. This took me a lot to write down and record. I have also been very sick, as you can probably tell by my voice, so maybe from January onward, uploads will be more consistent. Hopefully that becomes a reality, because I really want to keep making these videos. I have fun recording here, so you'll probably see this after New Year's Eve. I'm not sure when, but Happy New Year to everyone, and thanks for staying with me here. So yeah, just take care, see you soon, and next episode we'll be heading on to the next tournament, so we'll see what's waiting for us. Bye.